Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Thursday 5-game slate tonight. We'll be looking at Draftkings. I'll also touch on Fanduel at the end of the video, give you guys both of the cores in one video. And last night, another good day, especially on Fanduel, 344.5. Played Howard over McGee. That could have been a difference of 30 fantasy points, but still, as you see, was top 5 in these 100-man 50-50s. And Draftkings made a few changes. With the Embiid news, which I kind of didn't because Simmons and Horford were both terrible. Just their prices kind of baited me in. Van Fleet, Siakam both crushed it. You just knew they were going to play 40-plus minutes just because they don't have anybody else. Kuzma got there late. Russell only played like low 30s in minutes because of the blowout. But let's get into this one. You can drop a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Starting off at point guard here. I love Trae Young. I also love Luka Doncic. Luka is coming off a couple of really good games. He put up 72.5 against this Knicks team just recently. In that game, he had 8 turnovers, also had no blocks or steals. So I think he's a really good option if you can get up to him. Or you can go to Trae Young, who's finally getting the minutes that can make him crush at the salary. Early in the season and last year, he was playing like 30s. He would probably top off at like 35. But recently, they've been willing to let him play high minutes because they know he's the best. He's the only chance of winning games, really, and keeping them in games. 3 straight games of 40-plus minutes. The game against Portland was an overtime game, but in those other games, he's still been crushing it in regulation. 3 straight double-doubles, 3 straight 30-plus point double-doubles. And against the Nuggets, he was just hitting shots from all over the place. Against the Suns, I think he's a good bet to put up a solid score again, and at 9,600, his usage rate is just through the roof. I love both him and Luka today. Hopefully we get more value by the time the slate locks, because I do want to try to play both of them together. At shooting guard, we have talked about Luka. Drew Holiday, he was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double last time out. I think if Ingram's back, then I probably won't go there, but if Ingram's out, then you can definitely fire up Holiday, even though the price tag is risen up to 82 just because they're going to be missing Josh Hart. They're going to miss Lonzo Ball again. So he definitely has a path to a really high usage rate if Ingram's out indeed once again. Here, looking cheap here, I like RJ Barrett at 6,200. Just the price tag's appealing. He's going to get minutes. His minutes have kind of went down. It seems like Fizdale is finally... both recently it's been blowouts, but he's not playing like 40-plus minutes. He hasn't played that in like 4 games in a row. So early in the year, he was seeing like 37 to 40 minutes. He was getting the coach, Fizdale, finally got some word from the front office or something not to put their rookie, not to play him to the ground. So his minutes have come down a little bit, but I think at 62, he's still a good option. Spencer Dinwiddie, 5,700. I like him a lot, especially if Irving's out, then fire him up. If Irving's in, I think he still makes for a nice play just because he's still pretty cheap. Without LeVert, he's going to get a lot more usage off the bench, and if Temple struggles a little bit, he will get some more playing time next to Irving if he's in. If he's out, then basically becomes like a really good play. There's not a ton to love at shooting guard in the mid-range besides like Dinwiddie, I think's fine. Barrett's fine. If you're going cheap here, you could go Gary Harris. You could go Joe Harris. Temple is priced up on Draftkings. I prefer him on Fanduel where he's still 3,600. And the Hawks are going to miss him. They're going to miss Herter this one, so you could look at Cam Reddish. He's only 3,300. He'll probably start in place of Herter. So that's kind of where to go at shooting guard. As of now, I'm just going to go with Dinwiddie because not sure if Irving's going to play. If we get that news before lock, I hope we do because that'll make Dinwiddie a really easy play. Even if we don't get the news before lock on DraftKings, we can switch off of Dinwiddie if he's in or whatever we need to do, but I think he's at 5,700. He definitely has a path to 30-plus fantasy points. He's been good on the year, point per minute-wise, 28.5 in just 25 minutes, and his minutes should go up. A small forward here, I'm liking some value options. In this 4K range, I am liking Kenrich Williams if Ingram's out. You could go Redick if you want 4,500. I like JaMychal Green at 4K just because off the bench he plays a lot of minutes. Still, they don't like to play Patterson a lot. He doesn't play a ton of minutes, but all you need out of him is like 24 to 28. He can play up to 32 if he's playing well. The matchup's great against the Pelicans. They play no defense. They're bad against rebounding. JaMychal Green, 3 straight games, at least 10 rebounds. Can't get you a double-double just because he is in limited minutes, still off the bench. He's still been crashing the glass. He can shoot the ball, shoot threes, shooting over 40%, 43% from deep this year. He makes for a nice option, but I think a little safer option could be DeAndre Hunter just because he's the same price tag. He played 40 minutes in regulation. I love that the Hawks are finally playing their young guys and their starters a lot of minutes, at least a few of their starters. Hunter and Young are playing a lot of minutes, Parker as well. It looks like Lloyd Pierce is finally going to a more condensed rotation. Last season and early this year, he was playing 12 guys. Injuries have kind of played a part in it. They're going to miss Herter. Collins is suspended. But recently, they've been playing like 9 or 10 guys, and they've been letting their guys play over high 30s, low 40s in minutes. Hunter filling at 4K, if you project him for 38 minutes, easily can get you 6x. So I like Hunter at 4K. Power forward here, I like Parker. Randall's fine. But I think Porzingis sticks out. He was terrible last time out. 20 minutes, he had 5 fouls, just 13.8 fantasy points. But he's still willing to shoot a 1 of 11 from 3. He's taken 10-plus shots in every game this year, and that was only in 20 minutes he jacked up 11 shots. Facing his former team, definitely has some revenge on his mind. He will probably get booed in this game. It could go one of two ways. Either he plays really well or he just falters. I think at 6,900 though, I'm definitely willing to take a chance. His price tag is the cheapest it's been all year. He still has a solid usage rate. Him and Luka just run the show. And at 6,900, he's definitely has a path to a big score. They just played this team a couple days ago and he put up 50 fantasy points. Not saying that it's going to happen again, but definitely has the ability to succeed in this matchup just because he has a size advantage over like Randall, over Bobby Portis. If Robinson's back, that could be a little different. But either way, Porzingis should be able to get the job done at this price tag. If he doesn't, then that's just unfortunate. But I don't think he's going to shoot 1 of 11 again. At center here, Jokic definitely sticks out just because there's not other top-end centers on the slate. If we had Towns, if we had Drummond, if we had Embiid, you could make a case for one of them if they were priced similarly. But nobody is really in Jokic's price range. He definitely has the best matchup. Just had a bad shooting game, 7 of 19 last time out. He hasn't been shooting the ball great, but you like to see that he's taking shots. Like, I'd rather have Jokic shoot a lot of shots just because that at least it shows me that he's being aggressive out there. Like, early in the year when he was taking 6 shots in these 2 games, it's just like, what are you doing out there? But he's willing to shoot. He's going to have a big game very soon. He's getting close to triple-doubles. Has only had 2 on the year, but in the matchup against the Nets, they've been destroyed by basically every center. Jokic definitely sticks out at this price tag. And last but not least, I like Wendell Carter Jr., 5,600. If he's playing well, they let him play 34, 35 minutes in close games. Last time was a blowout, and he still played 35 minutes. And if you give him 30-plus minutes, he's basically a lock for a double-double. He's pretty good at getting block shots, and the matchup here is fine against the Bucks. They are bad against centers. If you look at their Draftkings points given up by position, centers have done very well against this team. I love the price tag on Wendell Carter. He has 40-plus point upside at a mid 5K price range, so he definitely is appealing on DraftKings. So let's jump on over to Fanduel now. I will give you guys my core here. The point guard position on Fanduel is pretty weak besides the top 5 guys. After 7,400, it drops off to 5K Patrick Beverley. There's no mid-range at point guard on Fanduel. So I'm willing to pay up for both of these guys. They're basically a lock for 50 fantasy points. Maybe not a lock, but at least 75% of the time, they're going to get you at least 50 fantasy points in these matchups, with the upside for both of them to get over 60. On a position where it definitely has some opportunity cost, I'm willing to pay up at point guard for a premium and then go with some value plays elsewhere. At shooting guard, I like Garrett Temple. He's basically $1,000 cheaper on DraftKings. Cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. He's going to play around 30 minutes. Last time out, tough matchup in Utah. Still kind of a tough matchup here against the Nuggets. But at 3,600, he has a path to minutes. You don't need much out of him at the salary. And he can put up mid-20s, maybe even 30s if he's playing well and shooting the ball really well. He did have a 40-point game, about a week ago, but not really expecting that, or 2 weeks ago. Not really expecting that. But he's definitely going to get minutes, and he probably will start again in place of Karis LeVert. And if Irving's out, then more minutes and more usage for Temple will definitely be appealing at that price tag. At forward here, I'm liking Hunter again on Fanduel. 4,600 is just a pretty nice price tag for a guy that has the ability to play 38 to 40 minutes. The matchup is fine here. They're going to need production from other guys, and Hunter can definitely capitalize on some bigger opportunities. So he sticks out. I think Bembry, he's a shooting guard. I think he's pretty cheap. On Fanduel, you can go there, or you can even go to Cam Reddish, who's definitely been off to a slow start. He's shooting like under 20% from 3, I think, this year, but he's min-priced on Fanduel. He's also pretty appealing, so I think going with some Hawks value is fine at small forward. You got 2 cheap options in Hunter and Reddish. At power forward here, another Hawk that I like is Jabari Parker, just because he's priced nicely. He's playing about 33 to 35 minutes. Last time out, he had no blocks or steals after he had 6 in the other game. It's definitely more of a random stat, but a way to kind of predict that a little bit better is if you look at turnovers per game by the opposing team. Here, matched up against the Suns, I'm expecting a pretty up-tempo game, high-scoring game. The Hawks are playing a little bit faster than they had at the start of the year. It's pretty obvious that they weren't going to play as slow as they did. Parker, I think at 7,200, has the ability to put up 40s with the upside through the roof if he and Trae Young are really lighting it up. And then at center here, I like Carter, 66. You could go to Jokic if you want 96. Or you could even go to my man Aaron Baines, who's been balling out for the Suns. He's basically been so consistent. Basically can pencil him in for like 30 fantasy points. If he's not in foul trouble, he will play in the 30s in minutes. The matchup is great here against the Hawks. They struggle against bigs. They struggle against centers. And Baines has just been playing so well for his new team. I mean, if the Suns drafted Luka, that team would be amazing over DeAndre Ayton. They passed over Luka and they passed over Trae Young, which is definitely something they will regret. But as of now, I think Baines at 6,500 is a really nice price tag just because he is playing really well. Other guys, like I said, Carter, I like him at 66. I also like DeAndre Jordan if he's starting again. He has upside, and the matchup against Jokic, I think it would favor Jordan over Jared Allen. So that's what I like on FanDuel, and this is what I like on Draftkings as of now. We'll update on Twitter at the DFS process as things change. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.